What is up, coordinators and naturals? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are returning to the Mercenaries' Serpent's Tail as we continue our coverage of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Astray B. Last time, Guy used the scale system while Lo tested out the new flight unit and underwater suit. Both the red and blue frames also protected the Gigafloat. This time, Lo helps upgrade blue frame. The blue, red, and gold frames are united on the battlefield, and we finally learn how Kenneth Luchini has been sneaking around. So let's get into this. Tactic 16, Operation 14. Serpent Tail took Guy and the blue frame to Orb to help with his wounds. Lo happened to be at Orb at this time as well. The head and the backpack of blue frame was also damaged, which weren't a part of the upgrades that Orb were initially planning to do to the unit. Lo was renting out a hangar to make upgrades for red frame, but when he saw the damage of blue frame, he offered his services. Once Guy woke up, he claimed that he would fight Socius once again. Serpent Tail makes their way to Gibraltar, where Reed negotiates with Zaft. He was able to allow them to use their base facilities. Blue Frame, with its new repairs, is now referred to as Blue Frame 2nd, or Blue Frame 2nd L. We broke this down in the original Gundam Seed manga. Two long daggers approach, and Guy rushes him. He has to use speed with these units. Guy closes the gap. He detaches his backpack while the long daggers purge their armor. Blue Frame uses the Armor Schneider combat knife, while the long dagger slashes at Blue Frame with the beam saber. Socius realizes that his knife has anti-beam coating, but it is too late to react as Guy tears through one of the long daggers. 5 minutes later, the battle was over with Guy the victor. He made sure not to damage the cockpits and kill the pilots of the long daggers. But because of this, Socius couldn't return to the Alliance. However, this was a blessing as it allowed Socius to learn the concept of freedom and living for oneself. These two will eventually come together on the battlefield again. Blue Cosmos units are heading towards Gibraltar. Guy says there's nothing more expensive than something free. Their deal to help the base in exchange for hangar use is turning out to be a bad deal for them. But Guy is all about honoring contracts. Guy's stitches from the previous battle with Socius began opening up. I don't know if I mentioned this during the breakdown, but the head sensors can remote control the backpack unit. Lo makes the best of things. Guy uses the Tactical Arms Gatling Forum. Tactic 17, Operation 21. Lo meets with Kerry, a man with a similar history to that of Jesus Yamato, a coordinator who fought for the Alliance but soon fought to end war. He now wanders around with the Junk Guild. Lo wonders why he paints all his mobile suits white. He says that the Alliance never trusted him, so they gave him a white mobile suit. White stands out on the battlefield. It, however, allowed him to build a name for himself where the enemy ran away at the sight of white. This was a win for Jean, as it meant it had to fight less. This all changes when he is pushed into a position to fight, like in the Battle of Panama. After Alaska, the attack on Panama took place. Here, Kerry met the Zaft Mobile Suit Dual Gundam. The Long Dagger is a mass-produced variant of Dual Gundam, so they are similar. The pilot calls him a filthy natural, but he lets him know that he is actually a coordinator. He then calls him a traitor. The two begin close-range combat, but soon the gap widens. Jean had no expectations of coming out of this battle alive. He drops his Fortestra, which causes a flash of light. He rushes in and lasts for some time, but in the end, his mobile suit is destroyed by a blast. He awaits the final blow, but Duel just walks away. This is all a story being told by Jean to Lo. He says that it was a gun gear that destroyed his unit. These are explained in our Gundam Seed coverage, but they're essentially EMPs. Jean wishes to one day talk to the Dual Gundam pilot and ask why he didn't shoot that day. Tactics 18, Operation 17. The mass driver system at Panama was destroyed by the gun gears. The Gigafloat is lost somewhere in the ocean, leaving Orb and Victoria base, which is currently under Zaft occupation. Rondo Gina Sahaku meets with Azrael to negotiate. In exchange for leaving Orb alone, he will help the Alliance retake Victoria base. Rondo heads to Victoria base in the gold frame. This is still base gold frame. It has the Blitz right arm, but the Amatsu upgrades haven't been completed yet. It is only at 70%, but the Mirage Colloid is functional. He was given a unit of 2 Sword Calamities and 2 Strike Daggers. 4 Socius pilots one of the Sword Calamities with Edward Harrelson piloting the other. Rondo doesn't order people. He just lets them do their thing. This is the battle that gave Edward the nickname Ed the Ripper. The battle was successful and the Alliance reclaimed Victoria. However, he is informed that Orb was destroyed by the Alliance. He doesn't hold a grudge against Blue Cosmos, as this allows him to rebuild Orb in his own image. He heads to the Ame no Mihashira and never returns to Earth. Tactics 19, Operation 16. Susie brought Guy a new job, but something doesn't seem right. He heads to the location to find Lo there. Something definitely isn't right. Lo came on behalf of the Junk Guild. Someone is trying to set them up. That is when Kenneth Luchini comes on the comms. If you read Astray R, Kenneth has been monitoring Lo, but Lo doesn't know who he is. Blueframe unleashes the tactical arms sword form and begins fighting Redframe. Guy isn't controlling this. Redframe pulls out the Guerrera straight. Lo 2 doesn't have any control. The two units are evenly matched. It seems like Kenneth is controlling the Astray's computers and sensors. They are also invisible, but on the battlefield. He must be using a virus. That is when Lo slices randomly at empty space, but almost hits Kenneth, revealing the gel Finieto. The NMS-X07PO gel Finieto is the first mobile suit created by Action Industries. This mobile suit isn't anything to write home about, but it does have the Bacillus weapon system binders. These are Mirage colloid shoulder binders which transmit a computer virus and isn't affected by neutron jammer interference. The virus allows the pilot to control nearby mobile suits. The Mirage colloid helps keep the unit invisible. It has no other weapons and relies solely on hacking. Kenneth wonders how he is moving. Lo realizes that the binders on the mobile suit are probably producing the virus. Lo shut down the mobile suit and gave 8 full control. Kenneth didn't know about Lo's supercomputer in a suitcase. The gel Finieto tries to escape. The virus is no longer in effect and Blueframe can move. He rushes towards the mobile suit and slices gel Finieto in half. However, Guy saw Kenneth jumping out of the mobile suit. Guy isn't getting paid for this job, so he ain't going after him. Work for free? Hell no. Get out of here. As Red and Blue depart again, Guy wonders what an informant wants with Lo. Tactics 20, Operation 15. After the destruction of Orb, its spirit lives on in the Kusanagi. However, there is also another place in Orb's territory. This is Aminami Hashira. It was originally supposed to be an orbital elevator, but was halted when the war started. However, it has a huge factory and hangar, which makes it a great place to build. Rondo launches in the complete gold frame Amatsu. The Sahakus are a part of the 5 noble clans of Orb. Though he believes that Uzumi's actions were wrong, he is working another deal with the Alliance to attack Zaft. Though he plans on taking out the Alliance as well, he just has to feign ignorance for now. He tests out the Magano Ikitachi Energy Absorption Blade. This can ideally be able to deactivate the illegal nuclear reactor based on Gundams, making this unit superior for its time. While this is happening, Guy was watching in the distance. Etika Simmons of Orb asks Guy to keep an eye on Rondo. Suddenly, Redframe makes its appearance. All 3 Astrays together once again, as though fate is pulling them together. Guy likes it when Lo is around. This dude defies expectations. Every time he's around, shit starts to happen. Lo uses the Guerrera straight and slices down, but Goldframe grabs the giant sword with ease and snaps it into 2 pieces. Guy throws his tactical arms sword form at Lo. Since this was originally made for the Red Frame, Guy assumed he knew how to use it. The Red Frame is able to slice down at Rondo, greatly damaging Goldframe. Lo flies away, but Goldframe tries to shoot Lo in the back. Guy comes in with the Schneider knife, destroying the cockpit and taking out Rondo. Lo never even knew that Guy finished the job. Tactics 21, Operation 24. Zaft and the Alliance are engaging in battle. In a Jin, high maneuver type is Mikhail Coast. Remember, Mikhail used to go by the name The Doctor. Being a doctor as well, he looks at his enemies as cancer that must be eliminated. He runs into Blueframe on the battlefield. This is the same mobile suit he met at the asteroid Nova from a few episodes back. Mikhail begins chasing the mobile suit. They head into a colony. The Jin is trying to keep up with Blueframe, but the Blueframe traps the Jin in a net. Standing in front of the trapped mobile suit is Guy in his Gatlin form. He tells Mikhail to get out of the mobile suit. Elijah is amazed it worked. The Alliance lagged behind Zaft when it came to speed and maneuverability. Because of this, they hired Serpentale to capture one of their Jins. They load the Jin onto a civilian ship. As they leave the colony, Elijah yells out. A red mobile suit approaches them with the swiftness. It is Ed the Ripper and Sword Calamity. If you haven't noticed, this is the chapter that they base the Gundam Astray Blueframe short OVA on. The 2 mobile suits begin clashing. No one knows what happened that day between the 2 mobile suits. And that will do it for this episode. Guy is a man of honor, but never forget that he is also a man of money. Even a cold, logical, and calculating man is pumped when someone like Lo is on the battlefield. His ingenuity makes him the wild card of the Gundam Seed universe. Next time, we will conclude Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Astray B. Guy takes on Hyperion Gundam. We will see a Strike Rouge variant, and we will see the return of Mad Dog Morgan and his gun barrel dagger. But that will do it for now, new types. This is a reminder for all you freelancers out there to increase your prices by 10%. Be more like Guy. Peace.